After a Halloween party, I woke up the next day with a strange mark on my face. Its meaning and consequences are about to end my existence. Running. Fleeing until my lungs and my legs finally fail me. What else can I do in front of something I cannot even comprehend? It has been almost 2 years and I do not think I can carry on any longer. If only I did not go to that party, if only I did not celebrate Halloween that year, maybe my story would be different today. Even though he always comes back, sometimes, he leaves me alone for a few hours. Today, I have decided to use that opportunity to ask for your help. Norman. Honey, you sure about this? My mother asked my dad. You know how she is, and she'll be all alone at that party, in another town with people she don't know. She added. Don't worry about that. My friend Bernard has everything planned, and also, his daughter Clarissa will be there to assist. They both 15. Maybe Gemma and her will get along and she'll make a friend for once. My dad replied. And that was how on the 30th of October, 2021, I found myself at Clarissa's Halloween 2 days party, trying to please and reassure my concerned parents. Of course, I met Clarissa and her numerous friends. We did not talk that much, but instead, we took a lot of nice and funny pictures all throughout the night. I had to admit that my father was right. I had a great time for once, however, that was the last great time. The next day, when my aunt woke me up, she immediately noticed a mark on my face, precisely on the left cheek. I quickly ran to the mirror, already nervous about the unwanted attention such thing could bring, and I saw it for the first time. It resembled the symbol greater than or equal to and had a reddish texture. Don't worry about that, Gemma, I'll find something for that. For now, sweetie, it's breakfast time. My aunt spoke. She made my favorite and tried to make conversation while I started eating. However, at the first bite on the sandwich, I immediately noticed that something was wrong with the taste. I looked at the bite mark and spotted tiny legs protruding, prompting me to open the sandwich, only to discover that it was filled with dead roaches. I have never been that disgusted and angry in my life, whereas my aunt was drowning in confusion and apologizing for something she could neither comprehend nor explain. After doing my difficult teenager, I managed to be sent back home the very same day. I did not know it yet, but that was his very first trick on me, the first of a very long list. For the sake of the post's length, let me focus on the more relevant and cruelest ones. Believe me, that being does not lack in ability and creativity. During a school day the next year, after I finished doing my business in the restroom, I went to the sink to wash my hands. I opened the tap and put my hands under what I thought was water. It is only when the burning sensation started that I realized what the liquid streaming from the tap really was. I screamed in pain and panic, and was later taken to the hospital. A few weeks later, I had already decided to skip school just to avoid being the victim of a new trick. Instead, I would wander around malls and various public and crowded places just to feel safe. Therefore, one afternoon, while sitting at the table of an open space restaurant and reading a few stories online, I felt something touch my foot. When I looked down, I saw a soccer ball and soon noticed its shy owner standing a few meters away, waiting for me to make a move. I smiled and the kid just scratched his head. With my gloved hands, I picked up the ball and held it above my lap to read the 2 words written on it. Got you. My heart exploded in fear. The ball exploded in my hands like a balloon, and countless spiders covered me in an instant. Spiders with vibrant colors like those venomous ones that you might only encounter in the wilderness. I shook and screamed for help, begging to be rescued from that nightmare. A few people helped, many others watched, and by the time all the spiders were off of me, the kid was nowhere to be found. Following the mall incident, I had chosen not to step outside ever again. My parents and my brother had learned that I skipped school and grew more concerned about my isolation and mental state. By that time, I was scared of touching, opening, using, drinking or eating anything. My body was covered with scars and bruises because he kept on tricking me every day. My parents did not believe what I tried to tell them and were scared of social care taking me away from them. One night, I really felt the need to brush my teeth because they were starting to hurt. I had not eaten for over a day, therefore, weak and trembling, I gathered the courage to go to the bathroom, armed with a kitchen knife I had kept with me for weeks. Leaving the door open, I examined my toothbrush and especially the toothpaste tube for minutes just to be sure I would not get any bad surprise. Just as I was about to finally get myself some hygiene, I saw him in the mirror standing behind me. Bald head, barefoot, dressed with suspenders, a torn long-sleeve t-shirt and torn black trousers. His lips and parts of his cheeks were ripped off, exposing his teeth, and forming a permanent smile that opposed his look filled with hatred and anger. He lunged at me, and I quickly turned and threw the knife at him. However, unlike the entity I saw in the mirror, there was instead a person standing in front of me, my elder brother Timothy. He slowly looked at the blade lodged in his shoulder. I stood there petrified in disbelief. Without saying a word, he exited the bathroom looking for the help of our parents, while I started hyperventilating at the realization of what I had done. What was my life turning into? That night, I knew that the evil spirit became a danger for my family as well through me. Therefore, a few minutes later, on the 10th of May, 2022, I ran away from home. Later during the day, as I tried to just go away, anywhere I could, I evaded ticket controllers and security guards to catch the train. I noticed a boy about my age, a teenager like me, who also noticed me as he got off. He was looking at the mark on my face when the doors closed as if he knew what it was. Derek, I know it was you that day. I have read your post about your own experience with the other spirit, and I also need those notes from Mr. Fritz. That explains the little I know about what is happening to me. Please, if you see this post, reply to me and help me. Please, if anybody knows Derek or knows what to do, please help me. The spirit was not there when I started writing this, but right now as I type the last words of this post, he is back, because I am sitting alone in an empty alley, and there is a small wooden table suspended in the air and completely still. I do not know what the trickster has in mind this time. I need help before I die. Help me please. Help.